uh, uh, this course is English course, so I will upload the lecture video each week, and you can find the lecture video from the syllabus table. So later I will upload a video of today's lecture here, provide a link here. And it seems the recording is okay now, so we can continue our class. The third question is to survey your motivation for taking this course. This course is compulsory for electrical engineering students, so for 70%. But some students feel that programming is interesting. Later, I will explain. Computer programming allows you to do many tasks, and it is very useful, either for your academic works, or when you go to work, you might need computer programming. Here are the environments. Here, IDE means integrated development environments. You can use the online IDE. Online means you need to use the internet. Offline means you don't need to. Internet is not required. Either one can be used. I often use online GDB to demonstrate how to writing code. So this is online IDE, and you can enter your code here and compile the program and run the program, and you can see the program output at the bottom of the page. And if you modify your code and recompile, you can see the program outputs changes. So this is online IDE, and you can download your code. Here is one safe, so you can download your code here. So you can choose, click the button to download your code. And your code is actually a text file. You can use any text editor to edit this file. So for example, I download my code in this folder, and you can use any text editor to edit this text. But for this editor, you notice that there is no syntax highlight. If you use IDE, you will see syntax highlight. Some are keywords. For example, include is a keyword, so its color is different. Return is also a keyword. Its color is different from white colors. So the strings are enclosed by double quotes, and the string is in green color. So you notice the color difference. Each color has different meaning. So this one is a operator. This is the left shift operator. So you can choose to use the online IDE to write your assignments, or you can choose the offline IDE. And later I will demonstrate how to use this offline IDE to write programs. You can find all the information here. If you still have problem, you can write email to me. For the assignments, we have 5 assignments. The next week, I will post the first assignment. And here are some rules to send us assignments. The next week, I will explain the rules in detail. And you can see the information here. Basically, you need to write the there is a required email title, assignment 1, PLGB. PLGB is fixed for this course, and assignment 1 is for the first assignment, and the assignment 2 is for the second assignment. And I will provide a link. The link will automatically generate the email title and the receiver address. And you only need to attach your CPP file. The CPP file is a text file, not an executable. And there is one requirement for the file name. The file name should begins from your student ID. So below are valid file names. And after the student ID, you can add any information you want. Below are some invalid file names. The first one is invalid because the file name does not begin from student ID. The student ID should be in the beginning of this file name. And the assignments are designed for beginners. So you should be able to finish the assignments independently. And you can ask ChatGPT for generate candidate answers for you. Then you can modify the code. It's okay. Or you can use, or you still have problems, you can use the TA hours. And TA hours is listed in this web page. You can use the TA hours to the A011 is our laboratory. It is on the 8th floor of this building. And for the assignments, plagiarism is strictly prohibited. And if plagiarism is found, you will get a 0 for your assignments. Here is one principle. You can discuss the assignments with classmates, but you are not allowed to see their source code when writing your homework. Because if you see others' source code, this constitutes plagiarism. It is recommended that you send your assignments as early as possible. Usually, we will have 3 weeks for you to complete one assignment. So you had the time duration is 3 weeks, and each week I will update the accuracy of your assignments. So if you find a mistake in your assignment, you will have a chance to fix the mistakes before the deadline. And late assignments will not be accepted. This means after the deadline, the accuracy will not be updated. So you need to pay attention to the deadline of the assignments. And all the grades will be posted on this course website. If you have any problems, you can contact me within 2 weeks. And we have a textbook, Absolute C++. And this textbook is not mandatory. It's optional. You might you don't have the need to buy this textbook. I will post all the slides and all the assignments on this course website, so you can find all the information here. But if you require detailed descriptions of concepts of programming language, then you can consider to buy the textbook. And you can use the latest version or the older version, is both fine. And in the bottom of this page is our syllabus. We have 16 weeks, and you can find the slides for this week. So you can download this PDF. So this is the today's slides. I will introduce what is a programming language. So let's talk about what is a language. A language is what we use to communicate to others. So we use Chinese. In Taiwan, we use Chinese or Taiwanese to communicate with each other. And if you go to a foreign country, then you need to use the foreign language to communicate with the local people. And similarly, if you want to talk to computers, you need to speak the language that the computer can understand. And a programming language, so therefore you need to use the programming language. And we have a variety of programming languages such as C++, Python, Java, JavaScript. And each language has its own strengths. C++ is for speed and efficiency. Python is for easy to read and easy to write, and is mostly used in artificial intelligence or data science. And if you need to build interactive websites, you might need to use JavaScript. So the purpose of programming is to enable machines to do tasks for humans. So if you can do programming, you can avoid repetitive works. For example, if you want to change the file names of 1,000 files in a folder, if you don't know programming, you need to manually change the file name of each file. But if you can do programming, you can write a for loop to read all the files in this folder, and you can call some functions to change the file name of this of the file. So if you can do programming, you can quickly finish this task. And programming also can be used to solve problems that humans cannot do manually. For this course, we learned the C++ programming language, and the C++ is more difficult to learn than Python. So the learning curve for C++ is is more steep than Python. Because C++ requires you to understand some low-level operations, such as memory allocation. For Python, you don't need to worry about memory allocation. Later, I will talk more about this topic. This course is not only for electrical and engineering students. It is also for students from College of Social Sciences or College of Liberal Arts. And I received some feedbacks from students from social sciences or liberal arts. They feel that C++ is difficult to learn because they don't have the engineering background, or they don't have the computer science background. So if you are students from these colleges, then you can you can choose to take other course. For example, I know some courses in our school teaches the Python programming language, and you can consider to take courses in higher level programming languages like Python, because Python is easier to get started with. The next slide is about what can be done with computer programming. And all the software you used inside your notebook or your mobile phone are written by programming languages, such as Microsoft Word, Instagram, Uber, Google Map. So all these applications are written by some programming language. And so in school, we perform research, we perform scientific research, and we also require to do programming. We need to write programs to conduct experiments, to verify our ideas. And for artificial intelligence, it is very hard topics. You usually heard natural language processing or computer vision, and all these fields requires you to write programs. They usually use Python to build models, to perform prediction, or to train models. And you can also use programming to automate all the text in your everyday life. For example, for me, I use programming to automatically download your assignments, to automatically grade your assignments. So I also use programming to automate all the grading process. Next, let's talk about large language model. I think most of you already familiar with large language model. Let's talk about this topic because it's related to the programming, closely related to programming. So you might use OpenAI's ChatGPT or Google's Gemini, or use Anthropic's Claude. They all belong to the large language model. And a large language model is kind of AI that is trained on a huge amount of text. It doesn't understand like people do, but it learns language patterns. So that's why it can create text. That's why it can create text that looks and sounds like human. You can use large language model to answer questions and explain ideas. And it can write or fix your code. You can use to summarize articles, translate text. But large language models has its own limitations. So next, I will talk about its limitations. First, the LLM don't have real-world feelings. For example, LLM knows about gravity. Gravity means the force to pull you down to the earth. LLM knows the concept of gravity because they have read about gravity from their training data. But LLM cannot feel gravity. The same. This is the same with taste, pain, or emotions. LLMs can talk about this. Can talk about this, but they don't actually experience them. The second, LLMs are not truly intelligent. So, and the real intelligence includes understanding, curiosity, and making long-term goals. And the LLMs don't have this. For example, the LLM can make a travel plan for you, but they don't know what a vacation feels like. And they don't know why people enjoy the vacation. So these are the limitations of the large language models. So you can think an LLM as a very advanced text machine. It is very good at putting words together. It can help a lot, but it cannot replace real human thinking. And the next slide is about the question, will ChatGPT replace programmers? You might read a lot of news about this question. So the answer is partially yes and partially no. Because why the answer is partially no is because programming is more than just writing code. Real software development requires talking to teammates, planning projects, and solve unexpected problems, and making decisions. And these are human skills: communication, collaboration, and judgment. And those are AI doesn't have. And the answer is partially yes, because many companies are starting to reduce the number of new hires for simple coding tasks. So if a job only involves writing basic low-level code, then AI tools can be used to replace humans for these low-level tasks. But AI tools cannot fully replace programmers. But they can make programmers more efficient So you can think of them as powerful tools. They don't remove the need for skilled workers, but they change the kind of work human focus on. So with ChatGPT, programmers can spend less time on routine texts and can spend more time on design and problem solving. So for this question, the answer is AI will change programming jobs, but it will make human programmers unnecessary. So we have assignments. If you can use ChatGPT to generate candidate answers for you, but the answers might not be correct. You need to judge. You need to judge the answers. So you need to have the background of programming languages. I think time is up, so let's take a break for 10 minutes. Hello. Let's continue our class. The next slide is a quote from a famous programmer, Larry Wall. He is the creator of the programming language Perl. And this quote is we will encourage you to develop the three virtues of a programmer: laziness, impatience, and hubris. It is weird at a first glance because the three does not look like virtues. They are disadvantages. So why the three why these three becomes virtues for a programmer? So here a programmer is lazy because a programmer do not want to do repetitive works. So a programmer will write code to automatically do some repetitive works. So laziness is a virtue for a programmer. And for impatience, a programmer is impatient because he or she does not want to wait until he does not want to wait the text finished. He want to automate all the tasks. So impatience is also a virtue for a programmer. And for the third one is the hubris. Hubris is not to look down on others. Hubris means you want to write some high quality code, so you can get the recognition from others. So hubris is a virtue for a programmer. If you are a hubris programmer, this means you should be able to write high quality code. Later, I will explain what is high quality code. It's typically means clean code. So your code should be readable and elegant, and that will be considered as high quality. You can read more descriptions in this link. The next slide is about the rankings of different programming languages. And we can go to the next slide. And you can see the rankings of different programming languages. This is according to their popularities. And we see that currently Python is the most popular. It occupies 25% of all languages. And the second one is C++. The third one is C. The fourth one is Java. And C# is a bit like the syntax of C# is like C or C++. So you see that currently the most popular language is Python, because it is easy to learn and easy to read, easy to write. And this course we will learn C++, because C++ is more low level. If you want to communicate with hardware, then we usually use C++. And you can find the trends of different programming languages in this figure. You can see the trend for Python. Actually, Python initially Python is not very popular. It's until recent years Python becomes the most popular. And the second one is C++. You can see its trend is roughly the same. The next slide is about the evolution of programming languages. Here I use higher level to describe the relation between different programming languages. For example, Python is more high level than C++. Because Python, to use Python, you do not need to know many low level details. So higher level means strong abstraction to hide the details of the computers. So if a language is high level, it means you do not need to know many knowledge in order to use that language. And if a language is low level, you might need to learn many details about the computers. So Python is more high level than C++ because you don't need to worry about memory allocation if you want to use dynamic arrays. But for C++, if you want to use dynamic arrays, you might need to manually allocate or return the memory space. So here, the second point, it talks about abstraction. So abstraction is about to hide the details, to eliminate the irrelevant, and to amplify the essential. So this process is called abstraction. The third point is about actually each language evolve in different directions. Some programming language such as JavaScript focus on web applications. Some programming languages are general purpose. For example, C++, Java are general purpose. The next slide also talks about what is abstraction. And from this figure, you see that this is the evolution of Picasso's drawings of bulls. So from the upper left corner, you see that the bull looks very realistic and contains a lot of details, including muscle, skin, and shading. But when you go across these drawings, you see that Picasso removes more and more details. And by the end, you only see very simple outline that represents a bull. So this process is known as abstraction. So abstraction means to capture the core idea and without all the extra details. In programming, we do something very similar. When we solve problems, we don't need to keep every small details of computers, and we usually focus on the important part. And the concept of abstraction is not only for computer programming. It is also for other subjects like mathematics. You will learn linear algebra. So it's compulsory for electrical engineering. And if you learn linear algebra, you will learn vector space. And vector space is an abstraction of different spaces like a metric space, continuous functions, or polynomials. So all these spaces can be represented by a vector space. So the concept concept of abstraction it can be applied to many subjects. The next slide is about programming. If you cannot program, then you need to do many repetitive works like picking stones to increase the level of the water in order to drink the water. But if you are a programmer, you have a strong tool, like you can use a straw to drink the water. And if you choose the right programming language, it is even easier. You can just sit on a chair to drink water. The next slide is about some milestones of C++. And the major standard of C++ is founded in 1998. So C++ 1998 is the foundation of the language that most people use. And later C++ 11 in 2011, we got C++ 11, and this is a huge update to the programming language. Some important libraries like STL, standard template library, is included in this milestone. And in this course, we will focus on C++ 98 as the core. And this will give you the solid foundation you need. And we will also look some features from C++ 2011. In this slide, I will compare C++ with Python. This example is about array creation. You want to create an array. An array means a container containing many objects. So on the right-hand side, I want to create an array of integers. This array has 4 integers. And AR is the variable. Later, you can use this variable to deal with this array. For example, you want to add some element or delete some element, or you want to access some element, then you can use this variable. So to create an array in Python is easy. But for C++, if you want to create an array, we have different methods. Method 1 is very simple. It is like the Python. But method 1 is different from Python, because Python creates a dynamic array. Dynamic means you can adjust the length of this array. But C++, if you use method 1, this is static. Its length is fixed. So if you use method 1, the length of this array is fixed to 4. You cannot modify its length. So in C++, if you create an array like this, this array is a static array. And if you want to create a dynamic array, you need to use method 2 or method 3. For method 2, you need to manually allocate memory. You use the new operator to allocate the memory space of 4 integers. Then you need a for loop to manually assign some value to the array element. So you can see method 2 is, although it is dynamic, but it is you need to write more lines, and you need to understand memory allocation. But for Python, you don't worry about memory allocation because you don't see anything about memory. You just create this array. So for C++, so this is why I say C++ is more difficult than Python, because you need to know more about low-level details of computers. The method tree can also be used to create a dynamic array, and the method tree is to use a library, a standard library, vector. Vector is a data type defined in a standard library in C++, and you can use this data type to declare a dynamic array. And that you don't need to worry about if you don't understand. And in our later lessons, I will explain all of these concepts in more details. So this example is just to tell you if you want to learn C++, and you need to know many low-level details. And next, let's talk about C and the C++. The C programming language is builds the foundation of the C++. So C++ builds on C, the syntax of C, and also adds more syntax to support OOP, which means object-oriented programming, and also supported templates, STL, standard template library. So later, our later lessons will cover these topics. So you can regard C++ as C, and with the support to the OOP paradigm. The next topic is about clean code. Clean code is another important topic for programming. Some beginners often regard programming is to use to solve problems, but solve problems does not make you a good programmer. Because if your code cannot be understood by others, then your code will be less useful. So clean code means this is also a quote from a professional programmer, Martin Fowler. He says that any fool can write code that a computer can understand, but good programmers write code that humans can understand. So this quote, this quote is to stress the importance of clean code. And below, I give one example for bad code and clean code. On the left-hand side is bad code. The right-hand side is clean code. So for clean code, you can see the intention of the programmer. The programmer wants to compute the area of a rectangle. So the width is 10, height is 20, and the area equals width times height. So you can understand the intention of the programmer's intention. And the bad code only gives some very short variable names, x, y, z. So even though you understand each operation, but from the code, you don't know what is the intention of this code. The purpose might be to compute other quantities, maybe not area. So the intention of this code is unclear. So the clean code means other people can understand your code. I can give another example about clean code, and you can go to the. We have one reference. I will add many reference materials in this page. And for the clean code, you can see this example. So this piece of code is written in JavaScript. It is okay if you don't know what is JavaScript, but I think you can understand what this piece of code do. So this code declares a variable still alive and is set to true, and then followed by a while loop. So if still alive is true, then this loop will runs forever until the still alive is false. So if you want to still alive, then you need to wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart, wash your hands, get tested. So you can understand the purpose of this code by reading the variable name or the function name. So this is a demonstration of what is a clean code. So clean code means other people can understand the intention of your code. Some beginners they don't know how to write functions. They put all the source code into the main function, and so beginners usually write program like that. They don't know how to define proper functions, how to give variable proper names. So this course will put emphasis on how to write clean code. Next, let's talk about how you can write your program. And this is the process of how to compile a program. So first, you will have the source code. Source code is a text file. So like this is a text file saved in your disk. You can use any text editor to edit this file. So the file extension is usually .cpp, which stands for C++. .h is for header. If you want to write your own library, then you need to write a header file. After you created your source file, then you need to use some tool. This tool is compiler. You will need to use the compiler to transform your source code to machine code. And the machine code is executable. You can run this machine code. In the Windows operation systems, the machine code file extension is exe, means executable. But if your operation system is Linux, then it use a different file extension. It use a.out. So you can use a compiler to transform the source code to the machine code. And a compiler will call different tools to complete this task. So here is the details of the compilation process. I will demonstrate how to how to transform the source code into a executable. Now suppose you can try to you can download the offline IDE. For example, you can download the code blocks. After you install the code blocks, and I will show how to use the code blocks. And so this is the environment to write and to run programs. And first you can click new and file. And we select C++ source. Next, we also select C++. If you select C, then you cannot use C++ syntax. For example, if you use cout, then C don't understand what is cout. So here we select C++. And then you need to choose your file path. You can save any place you want. Now, for example, I save in the test folder. Oh, I create another folder. I created this folder. Then you can choose any file name. You can choose any file name. Then we can start to write programs. You can use copy and paste if you are a beginner. First, we need to include IO string library, because we will need to use cout to print some values. And you can see the auto completion. The IDE also give you some suggestions, and you can choose what you want. Next is you can skip this line. You can skip this because it requires more time to explain what is the namespace. So currently you can skip this line. Then we need to define the main function. And if you don't know what is the main function, it's okay. Because later we will cover more details about what is a function. So currently you only need to know every C++ program, you need a main function. So in every C++ program, you need to define the main function. And all the operations are performed inside these main functions. So now suppose I want to print some strings. Then I can use a cout, followed by the left shift operator, and followed by the string you want to print. So suppose I want to print hello world. Then you also need to add a semicolon to terminate this statement. And we also need another statement, return 0. This statement is to inform the operation system whether the program returns normally. If your program finishes normally, then you will return 0. Otherwise, you will return numbers other than 0. So we are already done. Then you can save this file, and you can find this folder. I save this file in the test folder, And in this folder, then you can use any text editor to edit or to see this file. So here is another editor. I use the vim to open this file. Then next, we need to call the compiler. We need to call the compiler to transform the source code into machine code. Then you can click here. Here is icon. You can use build. And if you click build, then you will find the message in the bottom of this IDE. So here is build finished, 0 errors. So then you can find the executable. Here is the executable, hello world. But you cannot directly run this executable, because if you run some error message, if you want to see the if you need to run the executable, you need to run inside this IDE. So here is icon run. This icon will run the executable inside this environment. So you will see this executable prints hello world. You can modify this program. Suppose you want to output other string. You can print. You can click this icon, build and run. So you can see now the program outputs hello world 1, 2, 3. And if you made some mistake, for example, you forgot to add the semicolon, and then compiler will give you some error message. For example, I forget to add the semicolon. Then here is a red cursor, and you can find a corresponding error message. So error message is expected semicolon before return. So you can fix the mistakes according to this error message. So you can download code blocks from this link, and you have many choices depending on your operation system. For example, Windows, Linux, or Mac. And for Windows, I think you should choose this one, MINGW, including MINGW. MINGW is a compiler. If you choose the first one, you need to manually install a compiler. So it is more convenient to choose the one with MINGW. So here is the typical process for compiling a C++ file. So first you will create a C++ file by any text editor. Then you will use the compiler. Usually you need to use the command line. So command line is like you type CMD in Windows. So this is the command line. And you can type many commands inside this terminal. For example, I type dir to list all the files inside this folder. And then you can type this command. G++ is the compiler. You need to install this compiler in order to use this command line. because I do not install this compiler, so currently G++ cannot be used. After you install this compiler, you can use this command line, G++. Here is the switch to specify the executable name. You can specify any file name you want. And at the end of this command line is the text file, is your CPP file. And in the next command line, you can run this executable. But it is very tedious to manually compile, manually run. So we usually use IDE. So you see that using the IDE, you don't need to type the command by yourself. You just click some icons. Then after you click the icon, actually you will run the command line to compile the file for you. In this slide, I will explain the details, how compiler compiles your form, your code. And first, the compiler will call a preprocessor to deal with headers. Headers means library like this include. You notice we include a library. This is known as header. The preprocessor will deal with this header, and will expand macros. This is usually used in C language, but in C++ we seldom use macros because it is less readable. Then after preprocessor, the compiler will convert the source code to assembly. Assembly means low-level code. But assembly is not machine code yet, so you need to call the assembler to transform assembly to machine code. Machine code is binary. It's often 0, 1, 0, 1. So you cannot, if you try to open this executable with text file, you will see some, you cannot understand because it's binary. It's 0, 1, 0, 1. So if you directly open this executable, you can not understand the content of this file. And the final step is to call the linker. The linker is to combine your code with the libraries. So the linker will combine your code and the library, so to produce the final executable. So this is the compilation process. You can find more detailed descriptions in this page. Next, I will talk about integrated development environment, abbreviated as IDE. So IDE basically means text editor plus a compiler. For text editor, we have many choices. You can use Notepad++ or VS Code or VIM. So you have a lot of choices. And for compiler, you can also choose these options. If your operation system is Linux, typically you use GNU compiler. And if your operation system is Windows, then you might use Microsoft Visual C++. or you can use the MINGW. It's a lightweight compiler compared to Visual C++. And you can manually download one text editor and one compiler, and you need to integrate the two tools by yourself. But it is very tedious, so you can directly use some existing IDE such as CodeBlocks. So CodeBlocks already integrate text editor and compiler into an environment like this. So usually when you write program, we usually use IDE because it includes a lot of functions such as syntax highlight. You see each keyword use different, each word you use different color. So for example, CL and STD are reserved words, are predefined words in C++. So you see the color is different. And some integer is a keyword using return. Namespace is also keywords. So they are in different color. And if you declare your own variable, so you see that if you declare your own variable, the color is black. And the different data type comes with different color. The pink color is integer. And if you change to string, string are enclosed by double quotes. Then strings are in blue color. So the syntax highlight gives you information about your code. And you can find all the informations in our course website. Here I provide the links and also the instructions. You can follow the instructions to create a CPP file. And you can also choose to use the online IDE such as this one. But to use this one, you need to connect to the internet. We have finished the slides of this week. Then I will go to the slides of the next week. I will introduce some C++ basics. So let's see the slides of the C++ basics. And first, I will introduce some terminology of the programming, such as expression or statements. So this is the first part. I will introduce some terminologies related to programming. The second part, I will introduce some common data types in C++. The data types includes integers, floating points, characters, and the boolean, and the constants or strings. The third part is about console input output. how you can read inputs from user or output some value of variables. So this slide is about how we can the process from problems to solutions. For example, if you have a problem, for example, the assignment. After you receive the assignment, you can follow by your intuition to have some solution ideas. Then after you have the solution idea, you can write down some pseudocode. And after you have the pseudocode, then you can transform the pseudocode to source code. So the process to transform pseudocode to source code is known as programming. So and this is the topic of this course. This course will teach you how to transform pseudocode to source code. You will learn the syntax of C++, and you will also know its semantics. And after you have the source code, you can call the compiler to transform the source code into executable. And this process is automatically done by compiler. Next, I will give one example to illustrate from problems to solutions. Now suppose you have you receive the assignment. The assignment is to find the maximum number from a list. The list is input by the user. For example, the user input a list of 10 numbers, and your task is to find the maximum number among the 10 numbers. So for this problem, you need to solve this problem. Then you can start to write some pseudocode, and below is the pseudocode. So actually, it's not very easy for a beginner, but you can try to solve this problem by yourself to see whether your answer is the same as this one. So you can try to develop your own methods to find the maximum number from a list. You can try to do this, and later I will explain how you can use pseudocode to solve this problem. And I think time is up, so we can take a break for 10 minutes. Hello. Let's continue our class. Let's return to our problem. Suppose our problem is to find the maximum number from a list of integers, such as this list. This list has 5 integers, and your task is to find the maximum number. So how will you solve this problem? This problem is non-trivial for a beginner. So if you are a beginner, it might take you some time to solve this problem. So next I will show typically how we will use pseudocode to solve this. Then first you might have one variable. This variable is to denote the maximum number. So first we will have a variable to denote the maximum number. So I call this I call this variable Lmax. So I call this variable Lmax. Then you need to give this variable some initial value. For example, you can assign some initial value like a 0. Then you start to perform. Then you start to access each element in this list. But for example, you compare. You compare Lmax with the first element. The first element is 2. So then you will have two results. Either larger than or less than or equal to. So you will have 2 branches. Now you will list the 2 branches. So if Lmax is less than or equal to the first element, then what will you do? Do nothing, because you don't need to perform any operations. So if this is the case, then you do nothing. So I write pass. But if Lmax is greater than, sorry. That is, if Lmax is greater than the first element, then you pass, because you don't care about this element because it's smaller than Lmax. But if the first element is sorry. But if Lmax is smaller than the first number, then what will you do? If Lmax is smaller than the first number, you will assign the value of this element to Lmax, right? Because you want to find the maximum number. So if the first element is larger than Lmax, then you will perform So if the first element is greater than Lmax, then you will assign the value of the first element to Lmax, because you want to find the maximum. We also have one case not discussed. What about equal? So if Lmax is equal to the first element, what will you do? You will choose the first. You will choose the first operation. You will choose pass, or you will perform replacement. If Lmax is equal to the first element, what will you do? You will pass, or you will perform replacement. Please raise your hand if you will pass. If you will choose pass. Okay, and raise your hand if you choose the replacement. Okay, few people answer. Both are right. Both are right, because if you pass, if here is equal, you choose pass, then Lmax is still the maximum number. So if you choose pass, pass is okay. And if you choose the replacement, this is also fine, because you replace the same value. You replace Lmax with the same value, so it is also fine. But my choice is to pass, because you can you skip one. If you choose replacement, you perform one more operation. You need to perform the assignment operation. But you choose pass, you don't need to perform assignment. So I will choose the pass. So if the first element is equal to Lmax, then I will choose pass. And after you finish to compare with the first element, then we need to proceed to the second element. So let's see what will you do. It's very easy. It's the same logic. You replace first with second. And the logic is the same. You compare Lmax with the second element. And if Lmax is greater or equal to the second element, then you pass. And if it is smaller than the second element, then you perform replacement. You perform the replacement operation. Then you will find you will continue this process until the end of this list. So then you continue this process. So you can write down the logic. This is the pseudocode. This is not real code, because compiler don't understand the syntax. So you need to transform. You need to transform the pseudocode into source code, and this is known as programming. I can show you how to do it. I can show it's if you know the syntax of C++. So I can show you how to transform the pseudocode into C++ source code. And to do this, you need to understand the syntax of the C++ programming language. And later, our later lessons, we will learn how to do this. So you will know how to create an array. So here I create an array. And I declare a variable, lmax. And the purpose of this variable is to denote the maximum value of this list, and we need to give it some initial value. Initially, it is set to 0, and then you need to transform the pseudocode. Here is the comparison. You compare lmax with the first element, and you do nothing. So inside the bracket, you can use the semicolon to terminate this line. This means do nothing. And the next line is to compare. Is also to perform the comparison. And if this comparison is true, then you perform the replacement. You might wonder why the index is 0, because the index of the array always begins from 0, not 1. And later we will, when you learn array, you will familiar with this usage. So this is the process of convert the pseudocode to source code, and this is known as programming, and this is the topic of our course. Of course, this is not the best pseudocode. You have other better. There exists other better methods. For example, the initial value. Do you have better initial value? Because if here is sorry. If all the numbers are negative, then your choice of the initial value will have problem. Because 0 is greater than any number in this list. So the maximum will be 0. So it is important how you to decide the initial value. If you choose 0, this will not work for this example, because all the input numbers are negative. So how will you do? How will you choose this number? You will choose very negative. But if you choose this number, another there might exist some inputs like negative 2000, negative 4000. So if you choose this number, you will also have some problem. So how will you fix how to fix the problem about how to choose the proper initial value for this variable? Okay. Yes, you change your condition. Here you mean here or so? So what constant? Yeah, but Yes. Yes, but this constant will depends on the inputs, right? Yes, we don't know the input. So you move equal. Oh, this one. Okay. Yeah. I haven't checked this method, but I can tell you the most common method to address this. The most common method is to assign this value to assign the initial value to the first element. Then you can skip the first round. You can move to the second round. You can directly compare with the second element. So here is the typical solution. You will assign the value of the first element to this variable as its initial value. This is fine because this value is inside this list. And then you don't need to compare with the first element. You can go to the next element. So you go to the next element. Then you compare this variable to the second element. So this is the typical solution. So I think this is one of the best solution because you ensure you don't need to worry about the initial value of this variable, and also you can skip the first comparison. So this is the usual method to find the maximum number from a list. And this operation is very common. Maybe inside your assignment you need to implement this operation. And currently the pseudocode looks a bit stupid because I didn't use loops. Later we will learn loops. Then you can use the for loops to loop each element. And currently for illustration, I only list each step because this is easier to understand. So the next slide is about a simple C++ program, and you can use the any IDE to type the code and to run the code. I will briefly explain the code. The purpose of this code is very simple. Is to print a string. So it's the purpose of this code is to print a hello world, and it's a constant string. And if you use the language of Python, it is very easy. For Python, you just use print. Then you can directly print this string. So this is the Python programming language. The above are comments. So green colors means comment. You can delete the comment. And you can see the program outputs at the bottom. But for C++, it is a bit complex. You need to include a library, IOString, because we need to use this cout object to output strings. So you need to include this line. And the second line is also a bit complex. You can skip this line, but you will see the error message, because the error message is cout was not declared in this scope. Because if you want to use any variable, then this variable must be declared, and the cout is not declared. Cout is declared in IOString. So here the compiler also give you some suggestion. It suggests you to change cout to std double column cout. So you need to modify this. So if you don't use this line, if you don't using namespace std, then you need to add the prefix std double column before the cout variable. But this is very tedious, because you might use cout many times. You must use cout. So you need to manually type many std. So this is tedious. So we usually use this line using namespace std. Then you don't need to type the prefix. If you want to add a new line, you can add. You can use. You can use end-L. End-L is predefined in the IOString library, and this variable means this constant. This constant means line break. So if you add line end-L, this will create a line break. So you see that hello world, then followed by a line break, then 1, 2, 3. You also have another choice. You can use the escape sequence. You can use \n. This character also represents a line break. So you can have multiple line break. For example, I add 3 line breaks. And after this line, we have int main. Actually, here is the definition of the main function. Here we define the main function, and each C++ program will have a main function. So here is to define the main function, and inside the main function we perform operations. You perform operations you want inside this main function. So you see that C++ is requires you to understand some many concepts inside this simple program. So it is its learning curve is more steep than programming languages like Python. Next, I will talk about syntax and semantics for programming languages. Syntax is like grammar. So if you use language, you need to understand its grammar. Grammar means the rules for writing the language. And for our ordinary speech, you don't need to follow the grammars precisely because others can understand what you say. So you don't need to follow the grammars. But for programming, if you want the compiler to generate executable, you need to precisely follow the programming language's grammar. And programming language's grammar is called syntax. So you need to follow the syntax in order for the compiler to understand your code. So here, suppose I don't follow it. Suppose I remove the semicolon. Then the compiler will show some error message. Here is the line 5. Here 5 is this line number. And 32 might be the column number. So this is column 32 column. And so the compiler expects a semicolon after in this position. This position is before return. So compiler will tell you the syntax error. You can fix this syntax error according to the compiler's message. For example, I also now suppose I want to output more strings. I want to output another string. Oh, this is fine. Okay. Now suppose I add a space between the two smaller len operator. I add a space here. Then you will have a syntax error because the two expressions are different. The first one represents a single operator, while this expression represents two smaller len operators. So the two expressions are different. So you cannot add a space between the two smaller len if you want to use this operator with cout. So and the compiler will give you syntax error. So the compiler might expect you to perform a comparison here because this is smaller len, and smaller len means to perform comparison. So this is syntax. And the second related concept is semantics. Semantics means the intention, your intention. For example, you want to achieve some task. Semantics means your intention. Now suppose I will use one example. Now suppose I want to compute 3 divided by 2. So suppose my intention is to perform floating point division. I want to perform 3 divided by 2. And do you know what will print on the screen? What will print if I run this code? 1.5, right? And any other answer other than 1.5? If you already learn C or C++, the answer is not 1.5. Yes, the answer is 1. You see that the answer is 1. So why 3 divided by 2 is not 1.5? Why? You expect this should be floating point division, but actually the expression does not perform floating point division. This is actually integer division, and the integer division will give integer results. So 3 divided by 2 is integer division, so the result is also an integer. So 1.5 will be 0.5 will be discarded, and only 1 remains. So the answer is 1. So this example illustrates what is the semantic gap between your code and your intention. Your intention is to perform the floating point division, but what you write is integer division. So this is known as semantic gap. So if you do not fully understand what you write, this will cause semantic gap or semantic error. And the compilers cannot find such semantic gap because compiler do not know you want to perform floating point division. So usually the semantic gap comes from the gap between your intention and often comes from you do not fully understand what you write, or you make some logic error when writing your program. So for semantics, compiler cannot detect your intention. So compiler cannot find a semantic error or semantic gap. So for this example, compiler do not know you want to perform floating point division. And if you already learn C or C++, you will know you can add a floating point in the numerator or denominator. Then this will perform a floating point division. So now the answer is 1.5. And later we will cover more details about integer division and floating point division. Next, this slide is about expressions and statements. Expressions means any operation that can generate a value. For example, you perform addition, multiplication, subtraction. So any arithmetic operations can generate a value. So arithmetic operations is an expression. Or the comparison is also an expression. Comparison will generate either true or false. So if if the value of A is greater than the value of B, then this will generate true. And otherwise, the value will be false. You can try to print its value. You can do some experiment. So here I declare two variables. Later I will explain how to declare variables. I declare two variables A and B, and the initial value of A is 3. The initial value of B is 4, and then I perform a comparison, and I assign the value of this expression to a Boolean variable result. Then I print result. You see that its result is 1. 1 means true. So true is a constant in C++. So true means 1, and false means constant. False is you can change this. False means 0. False means 0 in C++. So comparison also generates a value. Its value is either true or false. And this is a function code. It calls a sine function from the math library, and this function will return a floating point. Then if you perform addition, then this will generate a value. And the assignment will also generate a value for C++. The value is actually B on the right hand side of this equality. Next, the statement is you can regard statement as a fragment of a program. So and we have a single line statement and a compound statement. The single line statement usually terminates with semicolon. So for this line declares a variable x, and its data type is an integer. And this semicolon will terminate this statement. So this is a single line statement. And we also have compound statement. Compound statement contains more statements. So this is the if. This is the if flow. This is a branch the flow control in C++. And inside the braces, here is a pair of braces. Inside the braces, you can put many statements. You can put 0, 1, 2, 3. You can put many statements inside these braces. And this is known as a compound statement. So in C++, we have single line statements or compound statements. Similarly, this is the for loop, and after inside the for loop, you also have a pair of braces, and inside the braces, you can perform many statements. And we will cover these topics in later lessons, like flow of control and arrays in later lessons. Next, let's talk about how to what is a variable. What is a variable in programming? This is very important. This is because variable means memory location that used to store some value, and it is important to use variables because if you don't know how to use variables, you don't know how to program. So to learn programming, I think the first important thing is to understand what is a variable and how to use a variable. For example, in our previous example, here I select the maximum number as a variable, and the value of this variable will be updated in later operations. So for beginners, they might have problems of how to use variables. They might not know Lmax can be a variable, or which value should be a variable. So to learn programming, you first need to understand what is a variable. A variable is a memory location to store some value, and in C++, every variable should be declared before it is used. Now suppose for example, if you directly assign 3 to A, this is illegal in C++ because you do not declare A. So this is the syntax is illegal. So in order to use the variable, you need to declare, and you need to select the proper data type. This depends on the content it stores, because if you want to store integer, then you choose int, and if you want to store floating point, you should choose double or float. If you choose the wrong data type, this might cause some problem. Now suppose I declare a variable A, and its data type is integer. However, you assign a floating point to A, and you see that if you print, the value of A will be 3. This is because A is an integer, not a floating point. So if you want to display a floating point, you need to choose the proper data type. If I change the data type to double, then you print A, you can see the floating point. So in C++, you need to declare the variable before using this variable, and you need to choose the proper data type. Next, let's talk about the name of a variable. The name of the variable is called an identifier, because this is the identity of this variable, like your ID card. So this is so the name of a variable is called identifier, and the identifier needs to follow the rules stated here. I will show you some invalid identifiers. So for example, if you use A.1, this is illegal. So you will see the error message, because operators are not allowed inside the variable name. So you cannot use any operators, and so you cannot use minus. And also, the variable name cannot begins with a number. So So 1A is illegal because variable name cannot begins with number. So you see that the error message is unqualified ID before numeric constant. It treats this one as numerical constant. However, A1 is legal. Numbers are allowed in the variable name if numbers is not in the first character. So A1 is legal. A1 is legal. So here is the rules. A C++ identifier must start with either a letter, A, B, C, D, small case or uppercase, or the underscore symbol. Underscore is this symbol. So identifier can begin with a letter, uppercase or lowercase, or the underscore symbol. So this is a legal variable name. And the remaining characters can be letters, digits, and underscore. So this line shows some legal variable names. And I also give some illegal identifiers. These are illegal, and if you use these names, you will cause syntax error. And also, C++ identifiers are case sensitive, and this means the following three names are different variables because the case is not the same. And we also the usual naming convention is to combine words like this, top speed, and the first character of the second word will be uppercase. And this is a good convention. We usually follow this convention to name a variable because it is easier to read and easier to understand the meaning of a variable. So I suggest you to follow this convention. And I think the lesson has come to an end. We can now dismiss.